this is Kim at Kim's Nest. Today I have a real special treat for you, a two-part video series on a scrapbook page called Going to Grandma's House. This is the completed project, so let's get started. One of the first things when starting your scrapbook page that you want to do is you want to find what paper you're going to use. And I've used this green stack recycled paper from DCWV for most of my cuts. Some of the die cuts that I used my scrap paper, but this, I'll quickly show you, has lots of really pretty paper. So I've chosen this to use for most of my paper, and this blue piece is what I'm going to use for my my scrapbook base. And this is 12 by 12. If you don't do 12 by 12 scrapbooking, you could always just modify the cuts to an 8 by 11 or whatever you use, or 6 by 6, 8 by 8. Okay? The next thing that we want is we're going to cut the top. This is the top layer, and we are going to cut that at 5.5 by 12. I've already done that. You can see I made myself a little note there. We're going to use our ATG gun, and I'm just going to place that on our page. I'm going to put that all the way to the top. Try to put that all the way to the top, like so. The next thing, out of the same cardstock, I have cut a 1" by 12" strip, and then I used a Martha Stewart punch, and I'm not really sure what the name of that punch is, but I use a Martha Stewart punch to punch along the edge, and we're going to use that as our border. Oh, it's 1.5, sorry, by 12. Good thing I made those notes, huh? I'm going to place this right on the edge of the paper we just cut, like so. Okay, now we have the foundation of our scrapbook page. The next thing I want to do is I'm going to put my title. Now I've already gone and done this for time reasons, but I just used my Windows Word program, and I put Spending the Night with Mamaw Feathers. And then I used vellum. I printed that on vellum, and then I used, it's one of the labels, spellbinder cuts, but you could use a cut that you have with your Cricut. You don't have to go out and buy spellbinders by any means. I use these iced got flowers that I got at Michael's to embellish them, and then the centers of the flowers I used stickles. I used lime green and turquoise. So now we'll have our title, and I already have kind of laid this out beforehand to kind of get an idea of where I wanted to put everything. If you don't, whoa, sorry, having technical issues. If you don't know where you want to place things, get everything cut out first and kind of play with it a little bit. So I'm going to place my title right there, and then I'm going to get my first base for my picture. This is what we cut earlier. I used ribbon instead of a piece of cardstock that I showed you earlier, and this is by Paper Tray Ink. So we're just going to place this on our page. This is our top at the top. And place it like so. And then I also cut another one to go to the bottom of our page. And you can see I didn't waste my ribbon by putting it all the way around. I just took my little adhesive gun and stuck it like that. This one we're going to go up and down with. Okay. So now we're ready to embellish our page. Since this is about going to Mamaw Feathers' house, I cut out a house. This looks similar to her house. I actually got this from the My Communities cartridge, and the house is on page 36. It's actually the post office, but we're saying it's Mama's house. But the house is on page 36, and it's cut at 4 inches. Okay, so we've got our house. There are other cuts you could use if you don't like this one. Like I said, it's just kind of what my mother-in-law's house looks like. And then I also use some trees from my community, and the trees are on page 37. So we put those on. I want this one to kind of go behind. You could even pop this one up, but I'm not going to do that at this point. So that would be pretty. And then I'm using the grass from my community. I try to do everything with the same cartridge this time. And I'm trying to find my grass cut here. Well, I think I remember. I did fit to page, fit to length is what I did. And I am going to use some pop-ups with this. I'm just using this tape. You can buy this cheaper. It seems like it goes further and you get more for your money if you use these. I like to pop a lot of things up, so I use a lot of it. So wherever you can save money and find a bargain, I'm all for that. So is my dear husband. Okay, so we're ready to put our grass on the page. And put that down here at the bottom. And then I went ahead and cut out from my community. This is actually the librarian. But one of the things that my daughter and mother-in-law like to do together is read. So it was fitting that the librarian had a book in her hand. And it also looked more like my mother-in-law. So we're going to add this to our page. So if you're just a one-page scrapbooker, you could stop here. And you have a great page for spending the night with Grandma. You have Grandma waiting. You got 2 places to put pictures.